Teacher can be helping a student, and the paraprofessional could be helping the student too. The paraprofessional helps students, but they do not actually teach the lesson.
Oh,
So they're more like a paraprofessional is more like a teacher's aide. They just
teaching
changed
assistant.
the name. Exactly.
Okay, right, right. This is one of the people, like in the job descriptions that you sent. Like one of the requirements, one of the duties were that you need to train like these teaching assistants. So I believe this is
Correct.
the same. I'll
Yes.
label it as all
Yes.
right. Right. By the way, Lisa,
Mhm.
hello.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes. Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you. We were talking about like the training program where you like train these people, train these people on the organizational procedures and whatnot. But has there been an instance like in this organization? Has there been an instance where you uh, orchestrated or developed a team building activity to like help them like build like to make them sense make sorry to have them create a more collaborative culture between like different teachers. So did you organize any team building activities here?
Um, Whenever I trained the teachers, the paraprofessionals were also in the same room,
Okay, all right.
so I did them
So
together, and
right,
they would
right,
have
right.
to. So at the end of a presentation or training, they had to work together.
All right. Okay, right. Okay. Mm, Okay. This step created an approved system for the special education department to ensure all steps within the IEP process were followed throughout the department.
Yeah, we talked about that one earlier. So I
Are-
created the process, and then the principal approved it.
Right. This is the accountability system that we talked about.
Yes.
The checks
Yes.
and balances. Okay. All right. Ensured registration and enrollment department is kept up to date in regards to systems of operations as it related to the registration enrollment department and the special education department. So, is this something that we talked about earlier? What is
Yes.
this?
That was when we talked about the documents that were the registration enrollment gave parents, but
Oh,
it was in regards to the sped students, and they
okay.
weren't.
Oh,
Yes.
and they weren't
So
what?
then, and so that's I had to let them know. Okay, these are the documents. They need to be filled out. I need them forwarded to us. And then in regards to the process, when we do get a sped student, there's
Mhm.
a specific format that they're supposed to follow, and letting the sped department know about each student.
All right. Okay.
So emails were
And
supposed to even look a specific way because we weren't getting all the information that we needed, even in the emails.
okay. Right.
And then what they were having, like when they didn't get all the sped students' information, they would just leave it at that, and they weren't supposed to. They just
Oh,
they didn't want to find they didn't want to follow up for that the sped student information, which is their department. So we would end up having to take our time, pull away from everything else we were doing, and getting these IEPs.
right, right, right.
And
And
that's not what we were supposed to be doing. It's
right,
registration and enrollment supposed to get all that.
right. And like, what is an IEP again?
An individual educational plan,
Plan. Okay, sorry. P. Right, right, right. I
IEP.
right, right, right. Okay. Let's see. Okay, and like, what did you like? you weren't supposed to be doing that part of the job. They were supposed to be doing that part of the job, the registration and enrollment, right? So what
Exactly.
was yeah? So what was the corrective? Did you take any more permanent corrective measures for this? That like
Oh yes,
so your
because they
jobs?
tried it again this. Now this they tried again this year.
Okay.
So we had a conference call because
Mm.
administration is in a different building than where I'm at.
Okay.
So it was SPED, the principal, and their the registration and enrollment manager.
Okay. All right. And like you talked about like you what did you do in this conference? Like you talked about
They
this is
were
the problem.
they were told get it done correctly. We did the SPED department. We did not have time to take away from because we have a big influx of new students this year, so we have 30 days that had to be done. And yeah, 30 days that had to be done, which is the start of the first day the student attends school, and you have 30 days to get notification on all this other kind of stuff. So we have all these students, and we don't have the IEPs. So it's
Right.
like we need the IEPs because we can't do a 30-day without all the information on those IEPs.
Right. 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 All the student information wasn't there that the enrollment
Exact,
department collected. Right.
exactly. And then it was like, well, we're busy, and it's like it doesn't matter because SPED department will get you in trouble. Will get a school in trouble. That's one of the number one departments. So it's you need to figure out how you're going to do it. And if you need help, you need to express that you need help.
Okay.
And
Right.
so the principal was like, if you know, she was able to grab a few more people to help her. So now there's no excuse.
Right. Right. And like, what was your contribution in this? And did you arrange this conference call? Did you bring this problem to the attention of your like principal or superiors?
I'm the one that monitors everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I brought it. I said we need to have a meeting,
Mm-hmm.
SPED department and principal. I showed her. I gave her a visual what I was talking about. I explained to her because she's new. I explained to her how this affects SPED and how this affects the school,
Right. Right.
and we won't
And
be able to get these done.
right. 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 And like, you came up with the idea that we need to have a meeting to like with
Yes,
this like smoothen this thing out, iron this thing out, and establish that this is what needs to be done. Okay. Okay. I understand.
exactly.
Uh, for monthly sped committee. Okay.
Because I'm just trying to prevent what happened the previous year.
Yeah. 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 I understand.
Mhm.
Uh, Eat for monthly sped committee. So what's that?
I'm sorry.
There's another bullet point that says you are the lead for a monthly sped committee. So what does that do exactly?
Oh, okay. Last year we had committee meetings for SPED, and what that was for, it was actually a waste of time, honestly. Um, it was made of one para, a teacher, and one administration person, and it was saying how could we as SPED um, meet or exceed what we were already doing. Well, I was the main person out in the field, so they already knew that.
Yeah. Right, right,
So what we did talk about were ways or concerns, but it was only so much that I could do because the one person had quit because she didn't want to do the work anymore. Then the other person half the time doesn't know what she's doing. I have to do her work anyways.
Oh, these were your counselors? The counselors that were under you?
Mhm. Yep.
Oh, oh, you poor unfortunate soul.
That's
Oh,
what
good lord.
again. That's why I'm trying to leave.
Oh,
I'm tired. I'm burned out.
yeah, I can understand. You should have left ages ago.
Mhm.
Okay. Um, Participant of ELL committee. Is this ELL committee important?
I'm sorry.
You were the participant of an English language learners committee. Is that important, or is it the same thing as the SPED committee?
It's different
Okay.
because what I was trying to show is that not only did was I in the SPED department, but I also helped with ELL, so I was
Uh,
flexible with my role.
Right.
So I was trying to show some flexibility
Right.
because
I
we did
understand.
have a couple students that were ELL slash SPED.
Oh,
They were
okay.
both.
Right. Right. And like the students in ELL, what were they like? Like uh, what were the criteria for like admitting a student in ELL?
They um they have to test. They
Hmm.
take the LPAC, and based
Hmm.
on the LPAC results will determine their level of English language learning.
Okay.
And if they have not met, I want to say it's like level 4. I need to see the forms again.
Okay.
Um, they have to they get extra help.
Right. If they haven't met the criteria, they need to go to English language learners classes to like learn.
Exactly.
I understand.
Yep.
All right. Created handbook for, and here they learn like reading and writing skills, right?
For ELL,
Yeah. Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
And with the ELL slash SPED students, it's
Mhm.
basically the same accommodations. You still have to take the time and make sure that they're understanding and not going too fast,
Okay.
and doing there, and making sure that there's a number of strategies to help them.
All right.
So
Okay, and this created the handbook for Associated Student Body Association. This is the same thing that we talked about, like the Student Body
yes.
Association.
Mhm.
Okay.
I call it Student Body Association. They call it ASB, Association of Student Body, is what they call it. I always I always call it Student Body Association.
All right. Okay. We should mention it like the Association of Student Body because like that's the official name, right? Isn't
Yes.
that the all right?
Yes.
So let's mention it like that, so that like
Okay.
okay,
Okay.
while connecting sites across different communities to participate in volunteering projects, community projects, and fundraising projects. All right, so this is what the Student Body Association did. This is the type of projects they were involved in: volunteering, community, and fundraising projects, right?
Yes.
Okay, right. And this handbook, like it was essentially sort of like the book of rules and regulations that the students in your sites
Y-
had to follow for
yes.
while. Okay, 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 I understand. But like other than creating the handbook, you actually like didn't you like get the students involved in this whole society in this in this association? Like, didn't you
I'm
start this thing
I'm sorry.
like this student association of the student body, right? Didn't you
Mhm.
essentially start this thing? Didn't you initiate this thing in, within your own or within like within this academy? Like, didn't you weren't you the one who started this?
Mhm.
Like you essentially got the students registered, you got this society, essentially the association, essentially the chapter of the association formed within your school, and like you got the people to communicate with each other, right? So the
Yes.
handbook was part, yeah, so the handbook was just a small part of that, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
understand. Right, so you initiated this whole thing. Okay, okay.
Yes.
So all right, this is this news channel group, right? Research selected, arranged contract proposals with special education. Okay, this is you
We
researched.
talked about that.
We talk about that. Right, right,
Yeah.
right. Participated in creating weekly student newsletter. What is this weekly student newsletter?
Um with the student newsletter, they didn't have that either.
Hmm.
So there was three of us. It was two teachers and myself. I got
Okay,
involved because I had did the news channel. So they were like, Lisa, can you help out with the newsletter? So
right,
I told them I would help out, but I would not lead it.
right,
So
and
that was this
mhm,
last year was the first year they did it. So I was on it for the initial start.
right, right, right. Okay. Provide support to peers. Completion of tasks. Participated. Oh, over here. You wrote provided support to peers in special education department in completion of his or her tasks. It should be completed the work of peers independently. without the help of peers whatsoever. Like you weren't